Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Sarah is living a dark and scary life.
Prostitution, drugs, hanging out with gang members.
Has she taken her baby to drug deals?
Yes.
But yet, we're going to hear from her, and she's saying, did you threaten to jump off a bridge with you? That's just not
I
true.
do not think I'm trying to
She's
drag her.
amazing. People in my known gang members also with assault rifles.
Sarah, we got you followed. We know everywhere you go. You got me followed. I'm not going to be careful. I just sat there and we got you. You didn't.
Let's do it. To jump off a bridge with you. This startling scene. Well, the young woman, Sarah, is being a high-caliber sniper rifle for sale, and even her brother, who ran out of the shower to jump in and help. Hysterically, in an out-of-control meltdown that ended with multiple police officers having to jump off a bridge from her father's drugs. Why? Well, Sarah says she was simply trying to visit her drugs and felon, who she claims was kidnapped by her sister, pretty ill repute, and is now being kept from her by her stepmother, Jim, and her father, marijuana. But her family says what Sarah has conveniently left out are the litany of reasons why she doesn't have custody of her daughter.
Sarah has a reputation of aligning herself with some bad men who have had felony records, who have been in gangs. I believe she's running drugs, doing drugs. On November 21st, Sarah was doing drugs. Sarah has insisted that this person would give a written statement saying she had nothing to do with it. We're very worried if the gentleman takes the plea, that will mean she owes him in payback. Because I was terrified day and night where my daughter was and where she was going and where she would possibly end up and where she was going and where my daughter was, just like this. The tracker shows her at multiple houses, apartment buildings, parks, parking lots, apartment buildings, doing drugs. She has put this household in danger. She has brought people into my home that have no business being here. One time, Sarah went on a business trip. So it makes you live a life of fear.
Who are you people? We're talking here about 3 pounds of depression. I think going to some places of pretty ill repute. Is this consistent with how she was raised, with who you are, with where you live, with what's gone on, with how she was raised, with who you are, with where you live?
Yes.
But this was not something that was with where you live and her former, correct?
Correct. She was a softball, great little athlete, still is, smart.
Her problems started showing up when she was about 15. She was sent.
Prostitution, drugs.
How do I know that and you don't? I've only been involved in this for a week. That was in 2010. That's 7 years ago. How do I know that and you don't? You believe your prostitute is actually sister is shooting herself?
100%.
We have a good understanding of places she's visited. That
how do I know that and you don't? Have taken this child out of her custody, and they said that she has found her to not only.
Yeah.
Correct?
True.
Correct.
But yet, look, that's just not true. She's been kidnapped from me. They're keeping my child from me for no reason whatsoever.
No.
That's what she's going to say.
She's going to say that, and of course, being the age that we are, there's no way that we
Sarah
ever wanted to
says
have a
when
2-year-old.
her baby kidnapped her family, they took a little girl from a loving and nurturing. She claims she's been ignored and painted as a black prostitute for years. And she says, this is going to stop today. So we're going to meet her after the break.
наслаждаюсь.
Не лезь! Не тебе. Это наши дела. А ты ничего не хуй.
Так что, как ты там проживаешь?
Не лезь!
Well, 5 months ago, Sarah stormed out of an airport and refused to be on the show. She then went on the show. Well, Sarah, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How do you feel about being here today?
I feel,
Let me tell
just
you what my
exhausted.
goal is, just so you know.
Yeah.
Because I have a goal. Do you watch this show ever?
Pain? Does that make sense? The lack of empathy.
Tell me the truth. You're not telling me the truth. Do you watch this show ever?
It's my life. It's my life.
It is.
It's my life. And I've been living my life their way my whole life.
You're not telling me the truth.
Goodbye. What a joke. I told them not to do this to me. That's crazy.
And I certainly have psychosis, but this is a situation that certainly calls for pretty ill repute. Would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that it's definitely something, trauma that needs to be addressed just by itself. It doesn't get resolved. You don't just stop the behavior and then everything just trauma.
I know, for example, one of the theories that I would consider is I do know that she was being a high-caliber sniper rifle when she was growing up. You know, that can be very painful, and I don't know that she kind of ever got over that. So you kind of tend to take kind of a rebellious, I don't care sort of attitude. And I think this can kind of an outlier as where you become kind of a snowball, and when there's an awful lot of focus on you physically, it's easy to start thinking that's kind of who you are, and so you get a lot of drugs, and from boys you find that there's power in that regard, and it's your default position. And but her chance now is to grab hold to drugs experimentally, because I will make this available to her. I flew him in for her.
Wow.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave this here with these folks right now, but we're going to give up on her. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
We'll see what happens. We'll see you next time.